Hey everyone, I just wanted to give my sort of out of the cinema reaction to the Odyssey, because there's been a lot of stuff online about it. I've just got home and we're walking the dog, or I'm walking the dog. I went and see it with my wife. I initially was on the fence about seeing it, but she was like, oh, I want to see it. So I was like, oh, okay, let's go watch it. I don't want to go too deep into a lot of stuff. I just want to bring up some of my points and address some things that you'd seen online. I know there was some stuff about like the certain casting choices and things like that. And for me, I was just like, that didn't really take me out of it, because it was just a bunch of English and American actors talking modern American from the get-go. So I was like, well, it doesn't feel sort of like ancient Greek anyway, so I didn't really care about the other casting choices. They didn't really take me out of it because I wasn't in it from that sort of historical accuracy perspective from the get-go. The other points, I mean, I'll probably say, yeah, it was an enjoyable film. It was long. It wasn't bad. But to me, first of all, actually, I've got to cross this road. So bear with me one moment. Yeah, just got safely across that road. Yeah, what a beautiful evening, and what a terrible evening to forget my sunglasses. But yeah, first of all, I think there's got to be some kind of like social media campaign, because everyone's like, you've got to see this in IMAX. Like, every sort of like weird influencer who's been shilling the movie has talked about IMAX. And I kept seeing all these like comparisons where it's showing like the side by side shots, and it's like there's one of like the helmets, and like the top and bottom of the helmets are cut off, and then the IMAX screenshot is like shows everything. And the same with like the soldiers on that island, approaching one of the soldiers, like the larger soldiers approaching like the Matt Damon, like the Greek soldiers, and it shows like the top of their heads cut off in the image. And we went and saw it at View, not in IMAX. They have their own epic screens, but the timings didn't work out right for us today. So we just went to see it in standard, because I was like, my eyesight's fucked anyway nowadays. So I'll just, I'm happy, and the wife don't care. But none of them shots that I see, like them side by sides and things like that, looked like the cropped versions or the standard versions they were showing online. The two that I just mentioned looked exactly like they were showing them on the IMAX screenshots. I could see the full helmets, and I could see the full giant soldiers approaching. So I don't know if it's like been some sort of like campaign put together. Studios can do that, PR companies can do that to push IMAX tickets, which obviously brings in a higher revenue for the film, and a higher box office. But yeah, none of them shots on the standard screening we saw were as people were making out to be online. We could see everything that, what I'll do is I'll overlay the images I'm talking about, so you can see firsthand. Daisy, dog's trying to sniff fox poo or whatever it is. None of that. It was just weird. I was like, okay, that was weird. When them shots come up in the film, I thought like the top of this like Spartan soldier, Greek soldier's helmet was going to be cut off, and it wasn't. I could see the full thing like in the IMAX stuff. But yeah, that was kind of just, didn't take me out of the film. That was just something I wanted to point out. But my biggest gripe with the movie, I'm just going to swap hands because I've got a bit of a hand ache now. Yeah, what a beautiful evening. And this kind of brings me to my next point of the movie. Nolan, yeah, he's known for big movies, big grand movies. The Dark Knight, he made Gotham City look, huge, and these big spectacular images and imagery and things like that. And the same with Inception and Interstellar, Tenet. Dunkirk. I still haven't seen Oppenheimer, but yeah, I assume it's got the same in that. But yeah, the biggest problem I had with the Odyssey is, to me, it just didn't feel grand like them other films. The shots, come on Daisy. The shots and everything just didn't feel grand. There was some beautiful establishing shots of like the landscapes and things like that, but everything else just felt very, not claustrophobic, but the best way to describe it is when, it's not a spoiler alert because this is the story that's been around for thousands of years, when the Trojan horse is in Troy and they obviously escape and attack Troy, like they come out of the horse, it felt like a backlot, like a TV set backlot. It just felt very small and cardboardy, like wooden sets, and there was meant to be this big battle going on, but it was like a TV or a low budget movie where it's like, here's a big battle, but you only see like 5 or 6 soldiers at a time, or like a load of people in a small space. That's kind of what it felt like. And it kind of felt like that throughout many of the scenes. And I was just a bit disappointed, because something called like the Odyssey and the way they market it, you'd be like, oh, this is a grand adventure, and that's kind of what I was expecting, and I didn't get that feeling. The other thing is, like, when they're at sea and there's like rough seas and things like that, it's all just very tight close-up shots, and it feels like they're just in a water tank on a set, or not even that, they're just on a set sitting on a bit of a boat, getting rocked back and forth by a couple of crew members while someone's like chucking buckets on them. It didn't have that kind of like, oh, we're in the middle of the ocean and hell is breaking loose. It was just, I don't know, because Nolan's capable of it, and this film had a huge budget, and to me it just didn't feel grand. I'm not saying that, as I said, I didn't enjoy the film. I enjoyed the film, but I wouldn't be like, to me this is going to be like not in the top Nolan films at all. This will be on with like other films you don't mention when you talk about Nolan. Interstellar, Inception, the Dark Knight trilogy, probably Oppenheimer when I see it. They're all ones when people are like, bring up Nolan, they're the ones you reel off. I think in a couple of years' time, this isn't going to be reeled off much, or if at all, which is a shame, because it should have been grand, it should have been huge in everything. Given that though, there was some really cool scenes, like the scenes with the one-eyed giant ogre. That was really cool. I did enjoy that a lot. And there was some other really cool stuff. But that's just my initial reaction. I'm not shitting on the film. I'm just saying this was my take. Take it as you will. If you watched it and enjoyed it, great. I hope you got everything you wanted out of it. And it did piss me off that the cinema, the view, which I jinxed today, because we've only recently started going to the cinema again, because the ones locally have been crap, but then they've opened one in Basildon High Street, which is a view, and the tickets are really good price. And because it's kind of isolated, you don't get all the idiots there like on nights out and going after meals after a few drinks and things like that. It just appears, every viewing we went to just appears to be people going specifically for films to watch a movie. And that was even the case tonight, or today, but they left the fucking lights on. So I missed the first 2 minutes in a semi-packed cinema, and no one else fucking got up. But a semi-packed cinema, they rolled the Universal logo, and I'm like, the fucking lights are still on. So I had to go out and tell them. And I missed sort of like the on-screen wording and the first bit of the story. But they sort of, actually I won't spoil that if you haven't seen it, but yeah. So that annoyed me about the cinema, but I jinxed it because I was explaining on my morning run today the exact story I told you about the cinemas, and I said that this one's really good. We've had no issues with it. And then I went there today and had an issue with it. It weren't, it's not going to put me off going there, it just annoyed me, but something before I probably would have complained about, but I'll let it slide this time. And next time, if it happens or anything like that happens, then I will complain. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'm out of shot. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.